Hello and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Waypoint. Good lord, they just don't stop coming, do they? Today we are playing Hot Wheels Unleashed, which is a game which has appeared on the Weekly Waypoint before, but not for a number of episodes. I just felt like playing this because the DLC for Forza Horizon 5 got announced, which I've already talked about, but if you're not aware, it's Hot Wheels DLC, and I've been seeing some comments around online like, hey, wasn't there that other Hot Wheels game that came out a while ago? Yeah, it was this one, it's really good, you should go and play it. I briefly considered making an episode in the Forza Horizon 3 Hot Wheels DLC, which I might still do next week, who knows. I have actually been playing around in that a bit, but I have also re-downloaded Forza Horizon 5 itself, and it's kind of hard to go back to Forza Horizon 3 because it's 30 frames a second, at least on Series S, and the handling is a little stiffer in my opinion. Also, Forza Horizon 5 did a really good thing where it made all like high-speed races feel comparatively slower, but only like in a way that would make it easier to handle, if you know what I mean. Like, it feels weird saying that slower feeling races is a good thing, but anyone who's played Forza Horizon 5 versus the other ones probably knows what I mean. Slower is probably the wrong term for it. It's more like better scaled, I guess, to reality. Not that I've ever driven a fucking car before, let alone a goddamn Koenigsegg. Is that how you say it? Koenigsegg? Koenigsegg? I can't even say the name of a car. But yeah, that's Forza Horizon 5, and that looks really good. But this is Hot Wheels Unleashed, and I've basically come back to play it lately to get a few achievements dusted off and finished. Preferably before online dies. There are still a decent amount of people playing online, but that might just be because the newest racing season has just hit. Sadly, Jurassic World stuff. Jurassic World is kind of a no-no for me. Well, not a no-no, it's just I'm not really that interested in Jurassic World. I've heard bad things about those movies, and I think I've only really seen Jurassic Park 1. I say I think because I've only seen Jurassic Park in my adult life. I've seen some when I was like really young, which I probably shouldn't have. But I don't remember which movies I've seen from when I was really young, so I don't know. There you go. There's more information you needed, but there's like a Stegosaurus car, which is kind of cool. I don't know, I've never bought into a racing season in this game because, I mean, I haven't even got the expansions. There was a whole thing, by the way. Was it last week? Maybe it's within this Weekly Waypoint's jurisdiction to talk about, where I was like, hey, I've got the basic edition of this game, I want to upgrade to the version with all the DLC. Nope, the only way to do that is buy all the DLC individually, which would cost like 75 quid at this point for the free car passes or whatever, which include the expansions. So that wouldn't even give you everything. Basically, I bought the standard edition thinking there would be an Ultimate Edition upgrade down the line. There wasn't. I shouldn't have assumed that. Milestone and nickel and diming people for a DLC, and while it's quality DLC from what I've heard and seen, it's kind of a shame. But the Ultimate Stunt Edition was on sale the other day for less than the asking price of the original game, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to spend some of my birthday money on this. Actually, that's what we'll talk about, what I spent my birthday money on. Well, we've already talked about it, but we'll talk more about it. And so I did, and then I realised that Hot Wheels Unleashed is one of the only games on Xbox which sells its Xbox One versions and Xbox Series S and X editions separately, which was a very difficult sentence to say. I hope you're all proud of me. And because I didn't feel like playing at 30 frames a second with reduced graphics, I refunded that shit immediately, but annoyingly, they only had the Xbox One version of the Ultimate version on sale. And what makes it even more stupid is they had the Deluxe Edition, which has half the DLC, on sale on both versions. So I don't know what the hell they were doing there. That was just stupid and annoying and frankly frustrating, so I still don't own any DLC in this game. So yeah, moral of the story, game good, DLC good, monetization bad, but not in like the traditional way that it's bad, it's just really poorly handled. Anyway, last week I talked about how I spent money on games. I got some PS3 games, which I still haven't touched, whoops, but I also got Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 1 to 4 and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and 2. Haven't touched the Dragon Ball games yet because I don't want to try and learn fighting in two different fighting styles in a genre that I'm not very familiar with at all. But in a shocking turn of events for me personally, I've actually been playing the shit out of games which I purchased with my own money, so hey, that's fun. Actually, it wasn't my own money, it was birthday money. I forgot. Now, I used to be really bad in Steam sales. I would buy tons of games. Well, not tons, let's not overstep it, but I would buy like a nice handful of games pretty much every major Steam sale. I'll be like, yeah, these are really cool, and like, you know, so many other people have done this. I've heard horror stories. I just have a massive backlog of Steam games which I have not touched and might never touch, to be honest. Pretty sure I have the Naruto games over on Steam as well, actually, to speak to that. But yeah, no, I have a terrific, or I used to have a terrific habit of buying games with every intent to play them later and then just never getting around to them. And I've improved on that a lot in recent years. I kind of started to do this when I first got my Xbox, and then I stopped myself and I was like, I'm only going to buy games but I absolutely plan on playing in the near future. And while, you know, I got those Naruto games and the Dragon Ball games, that seems like a lot to get, I did plan on playing them in the near future, and I'm halfway through Naruto... through what now? I'm halfway through Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 3, and I'm pretty damn sure I'm playing this from start to finish. Those games are so good. They are an absolutely fantastic retelling of a story. Not so much the first game, sadly. A lot of the story told in the first game is just like happenstance. It's like, huh? This happened, and then this crazy thing happened, and now I'm going over here to fight this person? I wonder how this will turn out. And also the first game is mired with like loads of like repetitive mini games that aren't that fun to do and stuff like that. Ninja Storm 2, massive step up. Mini games are gone. We've got full cinematic cutscenes of most of the main beats of the story. We've got really cool like moments that happen within the battles which make them, while not as tactically interesting, definitely like as interesting or more interesting in some cases animation wise than the actual source material, and that is a fucking major achievement. Congrats. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's like the Naruto versus Pain fight, it's not like it's stylized in the same way that it is in the anime, and it's, you know, it doesn't go on as long obviously because it's like a 5-minute fight in a game, but still in its own way really, really fucking cool to look at. Although half the time I'm not looking at what's happening because I'm like looking at the button prompts on the screen and frantically pressing them instead. Now, as I say, I've really not played a lot of fighting games, so I'm not like, at first I was really bad. Literally all I did was very slowly run up to people and spam B to try and punch them, but as time went on, while I wouldn't say Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm isn't a really good game to introduce you to that genre of game, because it doesn't really tutorialize you very well at all on how to fight, through trial and error and looking at move lists and like just beating my head against it to figure it out, I did eventually learn most, if not all, of the major beats of how to play these games, or at least Naruto. And yeah, you know, it's fun, it's a good game, go play game, it's a good game. If you like Naruto, you're probably gonna like these games a lot. Even if you're not like a fighting game fan, although I had a friend tell me it's not strictly a fighting game, it's more of a character action game, whatever this means, don't take this away from me, it's definitely a fighting game, shut up. No, but it's not like a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up style fighting game, it's like 3D, it's its own thing, you know. By the way, also, before anyone points it out, I know it's pronounced Naruto, but I've just always called it Naruto, and it's a really hard habit to break out of. It's like Pokemon. I know it's Pokemon, but I can't just go around calling it Pokemon. I really wish Bleach had a game like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm. Like, I know there's Bleach Brave Souls, and I'll be perfectly honest, I've played a bit of that and it is fun, but it is a gacha game, it is a mobile game. I would like a fully fledged console game, you know. Although, if Bleach Brave Souls ever came to Xbox, you can bet your ass I would be trying to get all the achievements in that game. As for the achievements in Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, I've decided, at least initially, I'm not going to try and 100% it because there's some fiddly ones. And honestly, I'm just enjoying the pacing of the main story. I don't want to break it up by rushing off to do 500 side quests. But yeah, I haven't touched Dragon Ball Xenoverse yet. I have no idea how that's going to compare, but that's an update on my video game situation this week. I've practically played nothing but the Naruto games for the last few days at least. I did download Diablo 3 on PC because after the mess that was Diablo Immortal and then the hype fest that was the Diablo 4 preview, I did really want to play some Diablo, but I basically downloaded it, loaded it up, made a new barbarian, whacked a couple of dudes in West March, and then just went, not really feeling it. I think I just want new Diablo, or Diablo 3 on Xbox, or like through Game Pass or something, although when they do add the Activision games to it, Game Pass, I'll probably be doing Diablo 2 first, because that'll be a new experience for me. But yeah, no, I think I've said my piece on Diablo Immortal already, but I uninstalled that. I'm like, get that shit out of here. Oh, actually, that's something to talk about. There's been an update on Overwatch 2 since last week, and I don't remember if I mentioned it or not. I think I must have mentioned it in the general thoughts on of the Xbox Bethesda showcase, but I was like, it was like a half showing. They showed us like half of a character cinematic, and they just kind of told us it was going to be free to play, and they didn't give many details, and I was very underwhelmed by it all. Well, they've revealed more information, and I've actually turned around on it. By the way, I still haven't watched the Junker Queen cinematic. I need to get around to doing that. But no, they've revealed that it is, of course, a free-to-play game, but that is the multiplayer and the PvE, which kind of surprised me. That doesn't really matter to me too much either way. In fact, you could say it's a possible downer, depending on how hard they go with monetization. But I was just going to play it through Game Pass anyway, so I didn't really care. But when they called it free-to-play, I honestly thought it would just be the multiplayer, like Halo style, and that the PvE campaign wouldn't be. But again, doesn't really matter. No, what grabbed me, weirdly, is them talking about, like, I guess not that weirdly, they were talking about the actual content, and that every 9 weeks is a season, and which is a bit shorter than most seasonal games, by the way. Every season they want to have like a new hero or a new map or a new mode or something new, basically. And while I was never one of those people who complained about the pacing of Overwatch 1's updates, I do think this is a really interesting idea. And this is a positive for me, and I'll explain why as we go along. It's going to have a battle pass each season. Now, it depends how well they implement it, and the XP gains and getting it. Like, remember Halo Infinite's on release? That's how not to do a battle pass. But the thing that excites me is I like Overwatch skins. There are so many games that try to do battle passes, and the main thing that they do wrong with those battle passes is just that their cosmetics aren't interesting, in my opinion. The thing that makes Fortnite's battle pass so good is the skins. Like, you get like between 6 or 7, if off the top of my head, I might be wrong, but somewhere around that. You get a handful of skins every season with plenty of variants, and they all look really unique and interesting, and they have different aesthetics, and they're just great. Like, even this season of Fortnite, Chapter 3, Season 3, its battle pass has been kind of criticised of, like, the skins in it are a bit basic compared to other seasons. Even the basic looking skins, I really like all of them. And because of the way they structure their battle pass and how it's integrated into the game and how rewarding it feels to unlock stuff, it keeps me in that game, or at least it has for the last season or so. And I don't know if you know this, I've mentioned it somewhere on the channel before, but I basically spent a year in Overwatch when it came out, or like shortly after it came out. It was like my main game. I don't normally mainline a game as hard as I mainlined Overwatch 1. And while my interest in it died, and my interest in Overwatch 2 has never been, you know, really all that there based on what they've shown us, like, it's starting to creep up again because of like this idea of a 9-week seasonal battle pass style live game. I've bought loot boxes in Overwatch, that's how much I like their skins, and the only other game I've bought loot boxes in is RuneScape, and I kind of regret doing that in that game. In fact, I kind of regret doing it in Overwatch 2, to be fair, but the fact that you get all of your Overwatch 1 skins in Overwatch 2 kind of dials back that regret somewhat. Going back in time, starting fresh, I don't know if I would buy loot boxes again. I only did it a few times, and I never did like the massive amounts. Like, luckily, I'm not the kind of person who tends to have an issue with that, but I don't like them on the principle that there are people who do have an issue with that. We don't need to, like, do an entire undressing of why loot boxes are bad. You know why loot boxes are bad. We all know why loot boxes are bad. But a battle pass, the only thing bad about a battle pass is if it doesn't respect your time, and the fact that you have a limited time to unlock the cosmetics before it goes away forever. Sadly, it sounds like Overwatch's is probably going to be, unless someone has information that I've missed, I never actually watched the full presentation, it does sound like it's going to be a traditional battle pass a la Fortnite, where, you know, you gotta spend time in the game to get your stuff before it's gone. You got the FOMO factor. Much as I wish every live service game would take the Halo route and be like, hey, if you've bought the stuff while you still have to do stuff to get it, you've bought it, so it's yours, obviously. I think it's probably not the best monetization strategy, because otherwise everyone would do it that way, wouldn't they? But no, this stuff with Overwatch, like the promises of regular 9-week intervals of updates and stuff like that, and the battle passes with new skins, that shit has honestly turned that game around for me. So I am putting myself down as excited for Overwatch 2, to the point where I'm going, oh, October is so far away. That's literally the level it's brought me up to. I just hope there's enough skin variety, and that the objectives or the XP gain versus how long it takes to work your way through the battle pass is reasonable. And given that Blizzard don't have experience making a battle pass to the best of my knowledge, and that they have, frankly, a bad track record when it comes to free-to-play mechanics, there's still plenty of room for concern, let's be real. Oh, also they announced cross progression, and I was like, yeah, that's kind of an obvious one. And then I remembered that, yeah, Overwatch 1 didn't have cross progression, and that's a pain in the butt. When, like, the main hook of that game is the different skins that you earn through loot boxes that you get while leveling up. The fact that you don't have an account across both PC and console where you get both of them, that's stupid as hell. It always has been, and I can't believe they never went back and fixed that. What else? I finally went back and finished Wheel of Time. I don't remember if I ever talked about it here on the Weekly Waypoint, but I was watching the Wheel of Time series on Amazon Prime, and then I got rid of my Amazon Prime like 2 episodes before the end, and I heard bad things. I'm just here to tell you, I'm not going to spoil anything. It's not as bad as people made it out to be. The way people were talking about it made me think that they'd made a massive departure from the books in terms of who someone's identity was, but they hadn't. I do think the ending was done better in the books. I know there's been a lot of changes that are a little bit unnecessary at times, or at least it feels that way to me, but I still enjoyed it. I want to see a season 2, although I don't know if I'll ever be able to stop comparing it to the books internally and going, wait, this isn't how this happened in the books, why are they changing this? Speaking of the books, I really need to get back on reading them, goddamn. One last mention, finally next week I'm looking forward to The Elder Scrolls Online Higher Isle coming out on the Xbox, where I play The Elder Scrolls Online. Haven't played it on PC for a few years now. Apparently it's been getting really good reviews, and I checked, its general Metacritic score is definitely up based on the previous few DLCs, which is very good to see. I was not particularly impressed with Blackwood or Deadlands, it turns out. So yeah, looking forward to that. Also looking forward to, if I recall correctly, Fall Guys should be coming to Xbox this week, I believe. I had a lot of fun playing that on PlayStation 4 back when I had PS Plus, so looking forward to getting back into that. Maybe we'll see some Fall Guys content next week. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Maybe leave a comment about any of the things I talked about if you've got anything relevant to reply about, or maybe leave a like. I still hate shelling myself out like this, but it works. Why does it work? But just because I hate doing it doesn't mean I don't appreciate it, so thank you very much.